Hello, friends. Oh gosh, I forgot to turn off my. That's hilarious. Hello, I'm here. You can tell which portions of the stream I really paid attention to setting up. Joe, hello. Exiled Faye, hello. How's it going? As you can see, I'm still alive. As you can hear, I'm still recovering. I feel like I still sound way worse than I feel. I actually feel quite a bit better than I did. Hopefully you guys can hear me as well, because I had to fiddle with my microphone again today. Please let me know if this is just silence. Why does my camera keep doing that? Great, it's going great so far. I continue to, I think, sound worse than I actually feel. I've been feeling better day by day. I'm not 100% for sure. So I'm kind of glad that today is a little bit of a lighter brain day. But I'm here. I have reached the part of the cold that feels like there's permanently water up my nose, so that's fun. I've been eating so many cough drops this week. Oh, this is a cute song. Random. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. It's Friday. I'm greatly looking forward to the weekend because I'm just gonna sleep. My plans for this weekend, sleep. Yeah. I'm gonna do that little thing where I cheat and make sure that I can hear myself. Because I hope that it's not just like... Okay. I heard myself. I opened Twitch and I heard myself. Okay, good. Joe, how's it going? Glad you made it. I'm gonna try not to meander too much before I get into things today, but my brain is pretty meandering today, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna save this as poetry. So, as you know, Joe, also, how are you doing today? What time did you actually go to sleep last night? I'm curious. And I was lurking for the end of stream because Ghost came home late last night and I went and hung out with him for a bit. 6 a.m.? Oh my god! Although I guess here that's like, so that would have been 3 a.m. my time. I was asleep by then. According to my Fitbit, I fell asleep at, I think it was like 10 after 1. Quarter after 1. So I was getting out by then. I was in the middle of saying something. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Ghost came home late last night, so we watched a little bit of X-Files. So I was lurking during the Marvels portion of stream mostly. But definitely saw the sun starting to come up. Man, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I'm a night owl, but I definitely start to hit the wall around like 2 or 3 in the morning. I guess because I've kind of trained myself to have, I've talked about this a couple times, but I've trained myself to have a more Ghost Pepper schedule. Because being a teacher, he has to get up at a certain time and he has to go to sleep at a certain time because he has to keep that regimented school schedule. So for me, like, if I was going to bed at 3 in the morning and sleeping until like noon and then just like doing my work day during the time when he's home, like we would never see each other. And I guess I could like, you know, hang out with him and then like work when he's sleeping. But the thing is, like, the way, at least the way things usually are for me, is like the longer I'm awake, the less energy I have. And so I like to get my work done earlier in the day so that like when I'm out of energy, I can spend that like that sort of late night second wind on just like games or reading or whatever, something that's chill and isn't gonna like instantly drain me. So I've definitely like sort of trained myself to have a more normal schedule. But sometimes, like, if I go visit a friend, if Flutter and I are hanging out and it's vacation and there's like no point of having structure to our day, like we instantly just snap to, oh yeah, we accidentally talked until 3:30. I guess we're going to sleep now. And it just gets later and later each night, so you can sort of tell that that's my natural schedule. But I'm usually in bed before the sun starts to peak above the horizon. I think your heart and soul is just on Pacific time. I think that's just. Oh my goodness, this coffee tastes so good this morning. French vanilla. So yeah, Joe knows this already, but for anyone else who's joining us or lurking, I want to say, I almost said a couple days ago, was it this past weekend? This week has blurred together for me so badly, I don't even know what time is anymore. I think it was this past weekend. Our lovely friend Jay Chili did a mayhem stream. Just a degenerate. Look, you're our degenerate and we love you. Our lovely friend Jay Chili did a stream, a Zelda stream, where he was playing. Which one were you playing? It was Majora's Mask. It's the one you don't like us to say the name of anymore. And it was a mayhem stream, and when subs were purchased or bits were cheered and other such activities, there was a Wheel of Mayhem, and the community suggested things to put on the Wheel of Mayhem, and the one that shall not be named. I've actually never played a Zelda game. I never had one when I was younger, and I guess as a result, I never really got into like the Zelda franchise. So I've never actually played a Zelda game. I've just kind of watched other people play them. So it's been interesting for me to see your experience with them. Exiled Faye, how's it going? How are you? It's Friday. I hope you have a nice weekend coming up, because I know you've had a rough work week. I'm sleeping this weekend. But so yeah, it's been interesting because most of my Zelda experience is from watching other people. But I may have, mayhem was asked for, so I may have suggested some writing tasks for Joe, because he's also a writer. Going to May Day Fairy Festival in Maryland. I've been to that fairy festival. I haven't been in like 2 decades, but I love Fairy Festival. It was so amazing the couple times I got to go. So please enjoy. And maybe, if you don't mind, snap a few pictures and toss them in the Discord, because I would love to see what they're up to now. It's probably way bigger than when I went back when I was in high school, but I friggin' love Fairy Festival. I think it's probably the same one, because I think the one that we went to was in Maryland as well. So have fun. That sounds amazing. I can't believe it's May. April was like such a freaking whirlwind. But yeah, so I suggested some writing tasks for Joe, and they were mostly poetry related. This one was Spoutwood, which was in New York until a couple of years ago. Interesting. It's been so long, I don't remember the town that mine was in, but I wonder if it's the same one, because that would be amazing. Probably not held in the same spot as the one, like the same exact spot as the one that I went to, because that was probably a relatively small location if it's grown. But I wonder if it's the same organizers. That would be amazing. Yeah, I remember the one year we all made wings to wear to Fairy Festival. It was a farm! It is the same one! Cubandio? No, I don't know. I don't know the name, but I was working, so side tangent, that's what this stream is going to be. When I was in high school, I worked at a metaphysical store called Moonbeams in a Jar. And the woman who ran that store, it's like a fairy aloha at this house. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, maybe if I heard you say it, because I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But I worked at this Moonbeams in a Jar, and the lady who ran it was really connected within the pagan community, which Cubiando. That does sound familiar. How did I say it? I think I said Cubandio, which is not even what you spelled. Who am I? Why do you guys even come here? I'm such a silly nilly. Yeah, she was really connected in the pagan community, and where I grew up, there wasn't, like, much of a pagan community, so she was sort of, like, connected to the wider pagan community. Look, it's okay. This is how my streams go, especially Friday streams. We're just gonna go off on tangents. And she actually knew, like, Silver Ravenwolf and a bunch of other people as well. And so she knew the people who organized Fairy Fest, and she had a stand there. And so I got to go down with her for the weekend and just work at the stand and hang out and see everything, and it was amazing. And then another year, a bunch of friends of mine, we all made fairy wings, and we arranged to drive. And that was a whole other thing, because the car broke down, and there was a whole thing. But we did eventually make it to the Fairy Fest briefly with our wings and stuff, which was cool. But man, it was so great. I loved that place. It was freaking amazing. So yeah, take pictures. I'd love to see what it is now, because that sounds awesome. I'm so glad that it, like, continued. I kind of forget that, like, you live in the same area where I grew up until you make a comment like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're there. You're where I used to be. So yeah, I may have suggested that Joe do some writing on stream. I tried to pick things, I don't know if Joe has had this particular part of my insight yet, but I tried to pick things that I thought would be funny, like fun and funny. So the first thing I suggested was a haiku, because that's just sort of like the writing exercise that you get given a lot, especially when I was in school, is like, write a haiku. So that was the first one. And then the second one I suggested was a limerick, because they tend to be humorous. I know, I'm kind of sad that the haiku never... I wonder if the haiku would have been easier for you, because it doesn't have to rhyme. It's just about the syllables, the number of syllables in the words, in the like, sentence. Or if you're playing Cards Against Humanity, it's just about playing 3 hilarious cards. Because there's a card in Cards Against Humanity that tells you to make a haiku. So you pick 3 cards to make a haiku, but it's almost impossible to get the 5-7-5, because you have to use the cards that are in your hand. And when we played over the weekend, the make a haiku card came up, and I forget what exactly the last card was, but the guy who won played as his first line, kayaking with my sluts. And then the second line was genuine human connection. And then the third line was that one about, like, all you can eat Taco Bell and anal sex night or something like that. It was hilarious. We all died. So ever since that, every time I think about a haiku, I'm like, kayaking with my sluts. Anyway, I wonder if the haiku one would have been easier for you because it's not... Haikus are really conceptual and they don't have to rhyme. But the limerick I thought you would actually really enjoy because they're supposed to be humorous, right? They're supposed to be kind of funny and nonsensical. And then I also suggested a sonnet dedicated to our friend Barred Owl. The one that didn't make it to the wheel was Write Something in Iambic Pentameter, which seeing this is not meant to be a diss or anything, but seeing how you handled the sonnet and the limerick, I'm kind of glad you didn't put the Iambic Pentameter one on there. I think you would have died. I think you would have died. So that I did say Write Something in Iambic Pentameter, which was a little bit of a mean one because iambic pentameter can be complicated. But in fairness to me, I thought you were an English major and I thought you would know about iambic pentameter. I thought I was picking things that you would know as well. So I do apologize because I thought you would have more of a grounding in the things I was suggesting than apparently you do, which is fine. We did a lot of this stuff in high school, like, sonnets and iambic pentameter and stuff. I actually remember our, like, English teacher writing out iambic pentameter on the chalkboard. And I think once you get the hang of it, it makes sense because it's supposed to be, like, the rhythm of the heartbeat. But learning how to actually, like, get the hang of writing in it is somewhat complicated. And then the other one that I suggested was A Love Letter to Ghost, which I'm sad that it only came up once, but that love letter was top notch. Poetry was never my thing except for that one period in high school every goth kid goes through. Yeah, I did a lot of free verse when I was in high school. You know, I too went through a brief poetry phase. I do sometimes write song lyrics. I think I've shared this one before. I do sometimes write song lyrics, and I had actually for the book I'm about to start editing in the Aravalia Chronicles, I wanted something akin to like Amazing Grace that would be sung at a funeral, and obviously this takes place in a world that is not Earth and has no connection to Earth, so it would not make sense for them to sing Amazing Grace. So I actually wrote like a funeral dirge for the elves. Can I find it? It was here, Elven Funeral Song. So this is like the most recent poetry that I have sort of written. I don't know if I can make... I tried to make whoops! I'm trying to make it more visible, less visible. I tried to make this as readable as possible. But this is essentially in the Mistborn area where Domarin grew up. This is sort of the song that is sung at funerals. It's specifically designed to be sung by voice. So when the day winds down near Unsrod and your back feels heavy from the load, when weariness shakes your shoulders and you can no longer lift your head, you'll come to the last fork in the road. Let the last light of day carry your burdens away and begin your journey to Gladiera's abode. Before you go softly into starry night, wrap your heart with eternal light. Let the ancients sing your tale with ringing voices as this earthly choir rejoices. Build the boat that will carry your spirit eternal to the place where the trees are ever vernal. Set your ship adrift on stellar tides. May this music be your guide. To give you some idea of my things that I've written. And the idea behind this is that I spent a lot more time on this than I plan on spending on today's poetry, by the way. But the idea behind this is that the elves of the Mistborn believe that they came to the Mistborn from across a celestial sea. They believe that they actually inhabited a different world or a different realm full of magic and fae, and a garden that was eternal, and they crossed that ocean to the Mistborn and sort of lost physical access to that world. They were unable to pass back into the country that they came from, but when they die, they believe that their souls cross the celestial ocean to get there. And so that's kind of the concept behind this. So this is like the most recent poetry that I've written. I avoided classes that involved a lot of poetry like the plague. See, we did it in high school. So this is why I assumed that if you just went to... And I guess maybe I shouldn't have assumed, right? Because I don't know if... Ghost did a lot of English stuff in college too, and I don't know if they did poetry either. But during our Shakespeare unit, we did a lot of this stuff. We did sonnets and iambic pentameter and all that. So yeah, I also think... I will say, Joe, I think you overthink the rhyming thing a bit. Like, it doesn't have to be super complicated. Steven Stuff, hello. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. But I guess it's easy, like, when you're on the spot and you've got mayhem happening, I'm sure it is a little bit, difficult to just come up with something on the fly. But because I set these challenges to Joe, I thought that it would only be fair if I did the same. If I undertook the challenges myself and attempted to write some poetry on stream. How you doing, Steven Stuff? How's Friday treating you? I also tried to rhyme sloth with enchilada. Listen, that was in the heat of the moment. I thought if you took a moment to, like, I will say, I was impressed that you went straight to the rhyming dictionary, because I think rhyming dictionary is a perfectly valid... Saturday good so far. Oh, you must be in the future, Steven Stuff. I'm glad to hear Saturday's treating you well. We are still on the Friday side of the line here. Friday morning. I'm looking forward to Saturday because I intend to sleep a lot. Conquest, hello. How's it going? Sorry. I still do have to blow my nose an inordinate amount, so I do apologize if I cover the camera a lot. I'm actually going to take off my sweater as well. I was very impressed that you went straight to the rhyming dictionary because, first of all, I think not a lot of people know that they're out there, and they're a very useful tool. And I would have suggested a rhyming dictionary if you hadn't reached for it. Also, I'm very impressed because you do raps and you do rhymes in the heat of the moment, which is not something I've ever tried to do. But we're not going to do iambic pentameter because... one, Joe didn't do that one, and two, that's more brain power than I have today. But I thought maybe we'd start with the limerick, since Joe... I don't know if Joe has his limerick and wants to share some of the limericks that he made. Basically... So, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this on my... on my screen here. So limericks are poems that follow the rhyming pattern of A, B, B, A. So essentially 2 rhyming lines, 2 typically smaller lines that rhyme differently, and then another line that rhymes with the first. There is a meter that they tend to be written in. I didn't necessarily go into that when I was talking about setting this up for Joe because it's not a hard and fast rule. But if you go and look up limerick on Wikipedia, it does explain. Whoops, that's a town. Is that what we want? center this a bit more. So, a form of verse usually humorous and frequently rude in 5-line, predominantly anapestic triameter with a strict rhyming scheme of ABBA, in which the first, second, and fifth line rhyme, while the third and fourth line are shorter and share a different rhyme. So I didn't go into what anapestic triameter is, because I don't think it's overly important. It's not like strict rule for writing limericks. But basically, if you look at the examples, you can see that, like so the middle two, like the BB lines tend to be shorter, right? So there was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nests in my beard." Itanchi, hello, how's it going? Sent a new vid to review for Sunday. Nice. There once was a man from Australia. I think the one that everyone always knows, everyone always goes to is There Once Was a Man from Nantucket, which there are several rude versions of. There was a young lady of Russia who screamed so no one could hush her. Her screams were extreme. No one heard such a scream as was screamed by that lady of Russia. Need to go to the park? Nice! I hope you're able to get to the park, Itanchi. It's okay here. It was really sunny yesterday. It's a little overcast today. They always use that first line in TV and nobody ever finishes it, so I don't know what the heck. So there is, I looked this up on Joe's stream. So there are several rude versions of There Once Was a Man from Nantucket. But I think this is the one that is like most common, like the actual limerick is There Once Was a Man from Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket, but his daughter named Nan ran away with a man, and as for the bucket, Nantucket. That's like, it's underwhelming. There's rude versions of it though. As you can see here, yeah, there's some less nice versions. But you can kind of see how, like, limericks just sort of have a flow to them. And this is what I thought Joe would do on his stream, is I thought he would just, like, Google a couple of limericks. And then try to write one. But instead, he looked at the camera like he was totally lost, and I felt really bad. Just need to know your feedback. May use it for other projects. Yeah, I'll check after stream, Conquest. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them on here. There was a young lady of Ride whose shoestrings were seldom untied. She purchased some clogs and some small spotted dogs and frequently walked about Ride. So, I'm going to do, I figure, in fairness to Joe, I'm gonna do a glizzy themed limerick. There once was a man from Australia who didn't know a daisy from dahlia. He planted some flowers, waited for a few hours, and then gave it all up as a failure. See? It's easy! Nice, Steven Stuff. That's amazing. Did some D&D sketches also. That's awesome, Conquest. I love you, Joe, but I genuinely felt like I had hurt you during the stream. I thought that I had suggested this fun. I was like, it'll be fun. He'll see how humorous the limericks are, and he'll come up with something really off. You did come up with something really off the rails. I have to give you that. But I thought you would enjoy it more. I I felt like I had kicked you somehow while you were doing it. I'm gonna do what Joe did, actually. I'm gonna pull up my rhyming dictionary. Dictionary. And I'm just gonna come up with the first line. So I want to be a man with a glizzy stand, of course. And pop stand into my rhyming dictionary. It was fun for us. I'm a big believer in, it should also be fun for the streamer. So I felt bad. I felt bad too when I had popped AFK for a minute and I came back in and you were like, we were yelling for you, we needed you, and I was like, oh no, what happened? So for anyone who hasn't hung out in our good friend Jay Chili's stream, he's a glizzy man, he's a glizzy king. He's got this nice glizzy hat that he wears, and he does an excellent glizzy wiener hot dog stand pitch. So I want to see a man with a glizzy stand. That's true. I was mildly offended that you went so quickly to Chat GPT to get it to just write the limerick for you. But you did finish. You did finish the limerick. So yeah, so let's see, rhyming dictionary. We've got band, bland, brand, canned, fanned, gland, grand, hand, land, manned, planned, rand, sand, strand, and tanned as our one-syllable rhymes. So there's lots of them. I'm gonna do what Joe did. Let's look at the 7-syllable rhymes. There's a few. Alice in Wonderland. What? Pieter van den Hoogen Band? What? The Aquatope on White Sand. Ooh, for 10-syllable we have anterior pituitary gland. Oh my gosh. You know, I thought that ChatGPT did a good job of capturing bootleg Pikachu. Honestly. I don't know how much you use ChatGPT and how much you've already, like, fed it information about bootleg Pikachu, but I felt like it did a fairly good job. Flanny related poems for his birthday? Maybe. We're gonna do this one first. We're gonna do this one first. And then we'll see. We might be able to do a Flanny one. I once knew a man with a glizzy stand, who fed glizzies to all of the land. Look at that. And then we need the BB lines, which tend to be shorter. If you have wiener, needs to fill. I'm basing this off of Joe's streams, in case you guys are, like, wondering. Man, I wish I could fit dill in there somehow. Frill. krill. Maybe we'll do if you've wiener needs to fill. He'll fire up his grill. And now I need a last line that rhymes with the stand and the land. Okay. And you'll find what he puts tween his buns grand. Haha. Wants to be a man with a glizzy stand who fed glizzies to all of the land. If your wiener needs to fill, he'll fire up his grill. And, let's take that out. It'll fit better this way. I once knew a man with a glizzy stand who fed glizzies to all of the land. If your wiener needs to fill, he'll fire up his grill, and what he puts between his buns is grand. How's that? Do we like that? I feel like that's a limerick. We did it. We did it. Simple, easy, silly. I was gonna do a bootleg Pikachu one too, since I don't know bootleg Pikachu as well as Joe does. I think it's a good idea to have, I mean, you can pick any word at the end of the first line, but I think it's always a good idea to pick one that has lots of rhymes to choose from. I wonder if I could get away with, I wonder if I could get away with a fake rhyme. So every now and then you can kind of sort of rhyme two words together. Sorry, I'm looking at rhymes. How intense. Peter, hello! I wonder if I could get away with murder. I mean, not if you tell us about it ahead of time. Am I part of the Winds of Chaos group? I am not a regular player in the Winds of Chaos group. I do have a few characters who are guest characters that have popped up from time to time. I play Ephema, who is, you might have heard them talking about her a lot on the show. She is an old lady woods witch who the party encountered while they were passing through her forest. And she traveled with them briefly. She popped back up for a while because they ended up going into, oh my god, I'll do my best, Peter. It might not work very well today. I have a bell! She popped back up because there was this interesting interdimensional dungeon that the Twitch chat made, and, she was there with them, and that was how she adopted her son, Alfie. That's me! I'm Ephema! Yes, the one with the snail! So I play her, she's me. She exists, and I also play Darfin, who you've probably heard them talk about. He's the captain of the Super Guard, according to Foodle, even though the Super Guard doesn't actually exist. He's a paladin, who they met briefly, helped them deal with a haunting in their house, very important. And then he was supposed to be protecting Matilda, who was arrested, and the party later learned that she was falsely arrested. She was falsely accused, and the snail is a very good boy. He has some issues, but really overall we love Callum to bits and pieces. But yes, I also played Dauphin, and I'm never gonna see him again because the party's never gonna find him because they can't even remember what he looks like, and yes. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do every Tuesday. When the game started up, I just wasn't able to be a regular part of it, so I hang out in the chat. I do what they call the rules lawyering, which is I help them when they need to look up things. When I need to look up a Jeremy Crawford tweet, that's me. I do that, and every now and then I play a guest character. I'm hoping that Ephema will pop in again. I have pitched the idea of potentially in the future doing a couple of one-shots or like a small one-shot which focuses on all of the guest characters, because we've had some really amazing guest players and guest characters. And I always pitch it as Ephema's putting together a team. But yes, I have been on Winds of Chaos. I am sort of an in the background person most of the time, but I do play Ephema. I think she's quite beloved among the players. They talk about her a lot. When she's around, she and Foodle get up to antics. So that's me. Just did a Foodle, like a Foodle. Did I do a Foodle voice or? Oh, Foodle. Yes. So I'm happy to be sort of part of the background of that. To move in and out. And occasionally do one-shots. I've also done a few other random one-shots. There was a Christmas crossover with the Disaster Bastards that we did for charity. There was a lot of drinking involved, and Ephema was there for that. She put the Krampus into a pocket dimension for a hot minute and told him off, and that was amazing. Grandma moment. So... also, Ephema doesn't know that her snail is actually a man who has been true polymorphed into a snail, which is why he acts out sometimes. She thinks he's just, a snail with a troubled past, but she's adopted him. So she has 3 children, Alfie, who she found in an interdimensional dungeon after he lost his parents, and she adopted him. He's going to Fae school right now, I assume. A familiar, Ikari, who's a little pseudo-dragon, is also her son. And Callum the snail. So those are her children, and she loves them very, very, very much. Tangent. Peter, how are you? It's good to see you. We love you. We hope you're doing well. Have you had macaroni lately? Because you mentioned it the other day, and I just assume that that's the thing that's happening. Okay, let's try to do a bootleg Pikachu limerick, and then we might take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll write Flanny a birthday limerick, and then we might try some haikus. Sleepy but good has 0 macaroni and 100% disappointment. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to bring it up when you didn't have any macaroni. I made some lactose-free mac and cheese the other night, and it was delicious. It was your birthday on Monday, Peter. Happy birthday. I'm so sorry I missed that. I was quite sick on Monday. So I do apologize. I hope you had a fabulous birthday. All the love from me and Euphema. Okay. Happy full moon, everyone. Hello. I'm going to try and remember how I said your name before. Is it Sukiru? Am I saying it right? I was very not, I came to my computer to do my work on Monday, and that was pretty much it. I was quite out of it. Victoria got me a video message from one of our favorite singers. Oh, that's so amazing. Victoria is amazing. RM Sukuru. It's an old username. No worries. Thank you for correcting me. I will try my best to remember that. I regularly rearrange the letters and names, so I apologize if you have to remind me a couple times. There was a infamous incident that we don't talk about, but how are you? What's up? We're just talking like my character Euphema for a few minutes here. All right, so I want to end my first line with gent. Maybe I met the most delightful bootleg gent. Okay, and then I need to rhyme something with gent. I'm going to do a fake rhyme at the end. For anyone who doesn't know, a fake rhyme is something that kind of sort of almost rhymes, but not quite. Pie, hello, my friend. Working on writing and homework. I hope both are going well for you, RM Sakuru. Kademon, hello, waffles. Oh, I love waffles. I do still have some sniffles, Pie. It's true, yes. Less sniffles than I had on Wednesday, but still a little bit more sniffles. Indeed. We've got, I think, 5 hydrates here. We're going to do those in a second. Cheers, Pie. How are you? Do 3, 4, and 5. Your stomach hurts? Pie, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please take care of yourself, get some rest. I hope you feel better. I'm doing much better. I know I sound terrible. I'm doing much better than I was even on Wednesday. I am definitely recovering from the cold. Still a little under the weather, but definitely much better than I was. Every day, bit by bit, I get a little bit better. Peter, you're not a coward. It's really hard to share your work in front of people, and I get it. Lots of people get worried that they'll freeze, or they won't know what to do, but just trust yourself. Go for it. You'll love it. You'll enjoy it. People will come. There'll be support. You'll find your groove. You won't know until you try. All right. I met a most delightful bootleg gent. with no legs, but a rad Boston accent. I think we're done. I think we might be done with a theme of voice. Like I would ever take care of someone like me. Pie. You have to take care of yourself. You're driving this meat sack through the world, and it's only gonna take care of you if you take care of it. You don't have a choice. You gotta be good to yourself. That goes for all of you out there in chat land. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Take care of that meat sack. I just did. I mean, you keep doing pie, but take care of yourself. I'm watching you. I care about you, Pie, and I just want you to take care of yourself. All right. I met the most delightful bootleg gent with no legs, but a rad Boston accent. So he likes Reese's Pieces. What rhymes with pieces? Not a lot. Subleases. Timepieces. Reese's rhymes with pieces. Maybe I could say he has a fondness for little pieces made by Reese's. He has a fondness for pieces made by Reese's. We're writing a limerick, so we're doing the 2 small lines now. I'm writing about bootleg Pikachu. He likes pieces made by Reese's. Did I spell it wrong? And his stories have many middles but no end. So this is a fake rhyme. Gent and end don't quite rhyme, but they almost rhyme. Ent rhymes with gent. So I'm a little bit faking it here, but it's okay. So I met the most delightful bootleg gent with no legs but a rad Boston accent. He likes pieces made by Reese's. I'm gonna make that he likes little pieces because I think it flows better. You gotta listen to the flow. I met a most delightful bootleg gent. I met a most delightful bootleg gent with no legs but a rad Boston accent. He likes little pieces made by Reese's, and his stories have many middles but no end. Heck yeah! All right. We're gonna take a quick, because we've been at it for about an hour. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute break so I can get up and move around and reheat my coffee. Joe requested a poem for Flanny because it's Flanny's birthday today. Apple, hello, how are you? What is up? We are writing limericks today. I don't know if you guys can see them. So our first one was, I once knew a man with a glizzy stand who fed glizzies to all of the land. If you've wiener needs to fill, he'll fire up his grill, and what he puts between his buns is grand. And then we have one for bootleg Pikachu, which is, I met a most delightful bootleg gent with no legs but a rad Boston accent. He likes little pieces made by Reese's, and his stories have many middles but no end. And now we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna write a birthday limerick for Flanny. And then I think we're gonna switch gears and try a couple of haikus. I don't know if we'll get to sonnets today, because sonnets are a bit longer. They tend to be, I have a couple of ideas, but I might do another stream for this. Because I had told Joe to write a sonnet dedicated to Barred Owl. So I have an idea for a Barred Owl sonnet. But they are a bit longer, so I don't know if we'll fully get to that today, but I'm having fun with the limericks. A haiku is how you say hello to a cow in Scotland. Oh, Peter, I love you. Seals Apple, I'm so glad to hear you're doing well. It was so fun listening to you. I say listening because I was not primarily watching you guys fight the monsters and stuff last night, but it was so fun listening to you guys play Bloodborne last night. I had some other stuff on my screen, but I was listening to your guys' antics, and it was delightful. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's 2 limericks down. We'll do one more when we get back, and then we'll try our hand at some haikus, and we'll see how long that takes. If you need to get up, stretch, move around, take your medication. I took mine this morning. Proof. Please do all of those things. Take care of yourself. And we'll be back in a quick 5. Back. Pie, please enjoy your lurk. Apple, I loved the chaos. Me too. You can always tell, I think, when streamers are having fun. And there's just something delightful about listening to friends have fun. Thank you, Exiled Faye. All right. So, as Joe mentioned earlier, it is our friend Flannelsaurus's birthday today. And we are going to try and write a limerick for his birthday. Now, I was thinking... I don't know. Let's see what the rhyming dictionary comes up with for Saurus. It does actually have a fair amount of them. Boris, Chorus, Doris, Horace, Morris, Taurus. I don't think... I think May is well beyond the range of Taurus. Zodiac signs May. May 1st to 20... Oh! May 1st to 21st is Taurus. I didn't realize Taurus went that late. I think I had Taurus and Aries mixed up. Saurus and Taurus are... Well, those do rhyme pretty well. This is a whole... That's a whole other rabbit hole. The sun is in Taurus. Yeah! My husband is also a Taurus. But he is April 24th, right? So I sometimes get it mixed up. That early April is Aries, and late April to early May is Taurus, and then late May... Because I am a Gemini. June 1st, Gemini. Interesting. Okay. I would not have guessed that Flanny was a Taurus, but he totally is. You're a Taurus too, Apple? Or a Gemini? Gemini. Twinsies. I very much live up to my sun sign. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure my moon sign fits me really well too. I think I'm a moon... Was it Scorpio? Checked it before and it didn't change on... So the whole day is the same moon sign. Yes, my moon sign is a Scorpio. Which moon Scorpio actually fits me very well as well. I've only recently learned about moon signs, but apparently your moon sign can actually help you read your zodiac more accurately. Peter is the best Taurus, mainly because I'm full of bullshit. Lol. Peter, you're amazing. We love you. Man, I didn't realize I knew so many Tauruses. I need that kind of balance in my life. Gemini is a kind of volatile sun sign. Obviously, the twins. A very emotional sun sign. Taurus sun and Scorpio moon is an interesting... So I'm Gemini moon and Scorpio, or Gemini sun and Scorpio moon. I've not looked at what Ghost Pepper's moon sign is. No worries. We talked about Taurus and then I talked about my moon sign. Yeah, I'm very, very Gemini. I should look up what... Not right now, obviously. But I should look up what's, what Ghosts is, because, that would be so interesting. does it say? I'm just trying to look up. I mean, not that it matters right now, but I looked it up before, and Moon in Scorpio. Yeah, so Moon and Scorpio people seek out emotional intensity. That's me. No matter what, there's something very intense about lunar Scorpios. When it comes to the world of emotion, they can see beyond facades and cut right to the core of a person. The ability to see what isn't obvious to the rest of the world can be intimidating to others or wildly attractive. Which I feel like defines me as a writer. Doing things halfway or having meaningless relationships simply doesn't fulfill them. That's me. Even the shy ones have enormous presence, apparently. Their lives are emotion-driven. So Listen, I have an emotional sun sign and an emotional moon sign. It explains a lot about me. My Mars is Gemini, so I can relate. Solidarity. It's funny because I don't pay like too heavy attention to the zodiac, or like that sort of stuff really. But I've done a couple of my characters. I've used like zodiac stuff for them just to like as a helpful thing, to like, cause it's a like short form way of creating a personality template. And some of my characters that have sort of developed themselves, I go back and look at their zodiac stuff, and it's like Damarin is an Aries, and he is freaking Aries. And it wasn't even planned. Me named Jeffrey Sun. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. I'm just curious how they decide all this. Do they poll people? Plus a lot of these descriptions are vague. I think it's like an old, like, I feel like the zodiac has been a thing since like ye olde days. I don't know exactly what time period it was developed, but it's something from like way back in, I want to say it's from like Greek and Roman times, but I'm not sure if it's quite that far back. And it's just something that has kind of been perpetuated. Nobody asked me, but some of my stuff really suits me really well. Just writing some poetry, saw the stream and was like, hey, that's perfect. Nice! What kind of poetry are you writing? We are doing some limericks. I've gone on this whole tangent about Taurus because it rhymes with Saurus, and we're trying to write a limerick for my friend Flannelsaurus for his birthday as a Taurus. I feel like that should be the poem right there. Free verse, nice. Free verse is actually my favorite. I challenged a fellow writer to write some limericks, so I'm doing the same challenge. There's a lot of history. A lot of it is based on the element and modality of each sign. Well, yeah, and it's based on the stars as well, because back in the day, people believed that where the stars were when you were born determined a lot of things about you. It's interesting because they actually did an episode of The Orville about this. Yeah, so it was very much based on, you know, what people associated with different elements, and how the stars move through the sky during the seasons. And a lot of it has to do with like what time and what day you were born. And that's why, like, if you go to look up your moon sign, it actually will ask you like what time of day you were born. So I checked midnight and like midnight, like the morning I was born and the night I was born, and the moon never changed position. So that's how I know I'm a Scorpio. Yeah. Anyway, Are we gonna use Saurus and Taurus as a rhyme in the thing? I feel like we kind of need to. Or we could try and rhyme birthday. But I think birthday... Flannel Taurus. Barred Owl! Hello! How are you, my friend? Look at the limericks that we wrote. If you can't quite read them, let me know. I'll read them out loud. We wrote some limericks today. And our brain didn't explode. I shouldn't tease Joe. I shouldn't. What kind of poetry do you usually write? I do not write a lot of poetry, if I'm honest. When I do write poetry, it tends to be free verse or song lyrics for my fantasy novels. Mine are psychological, subtle horror themed. That sounds amazing! I'm taking a brief preserve my sanity break. Welcome in, Bard. Stay as long as you need. You definitely deserve a break to preserve your sanity. Yeah, so we're trying to write... Let me just, out of curiosity, look up birthday. There are a fair amount of things that rhyme. Because I guess you can just rhyme the day part. Beret. Betray. I don't think brisket rhymes with birthday, rhyming dictionary. I think you might be wrong. Hatchway. Horseplay, apparently. Moray. Okay, there's actually quite a few. Alright. We could just start with the simple happy birthday flannelsaurus. I didn't know you were a Taurus. No, that feels like cheating. Happy birthday to my friend. Hang on. Let me make sure I'm spelling Saurus right. Happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. We could use Taurus. We don't have to. There are other options. I can't break for too long because I don't want to work late tonight. I want to have time to do a Furious Fiction Challenge. Ooh, what's the Furious Fiction Challenge? Is it like a specific prompt? I know, right? RM Sakuru, like brisket does not rhyme with birthday. I'm sorry, that's not even a fake rhyme. I will not give you that. Exile Faye, good luck with the end of your workday. I think, if I remember correctly, you're getting close to the end of things, so fingers and toes crossed it goes smoothly for you. Happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I could do like, happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I'm delighted to hear you're a Taurus. I don't know if that makes sense. Does it have to make sense? It's a limerick. How much sense is it really gonna make? And then I was thinking, your jokes make me laugh. But then I have to rhyme something with laugh. And I also have to rhyme something else with Saurus and Taurus. It's a monthly flash fiction challenge with specific criteria each month. Oh, interesting. Oh, right, I think you've shown me this before. Your story must include a character who is being chased or doing the chasing. Ooh, your story must include the words boil, fringe, and jump. Your story must contain at least 3 creative similes. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to do some of these in the future. The first weekend of each month. Interesting. Interesting. I like the prompt chased or being chased. Like chasing or being chased. I might have to just use that prompt even if I don't do the Furious Fiction. Well, good luck, Bard. That sounds awesome. It does look like a really... they've put a lot of thought into that, I think. Okay. Alright. I'm delighted to learn you're a Taurus. Your jokes make me laugh. We're just committing. We're just committing here. What rhymes with laugh? Golden calf, apparently. Chief of staff. Cenotaph. Mass spectrograph. Time and a half. Sir John Falstaff, apparently. I like they cut through life's chaff. Does that make sense? I feel like it does. And then we needed something else that rhymes with Saurus and Taurus. Some of the ones for Saurus are really broken. Like, authorize does not rhyme with Saurus. Licorice doesn't rhyme with Saurus either. I'm sorry. Slow Loris. Thesaurus. All of the other dinosaur names, apparently, of course, rhyme. All of the Sauruses rhyme with Saurus, of course. Words and phrases that almost rhyme. Desirous. I like chorus. I'm just not sure how to fit it in yet. Oh, did you write a Flanny Limerick, Bard? Please share it with us. I have a good friend, Philnosaurus, whom I just found out is a Taurus. His birthday's today, and I just like to say, knowing him is much better for us. Oh, Bard, that's amazing! That's so much better than mine! I love that! See, this is what I like about doing these on stream, is that people just come and drop, like, awesome stuff. Happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I'm delighted to learn you're a Taurus. Your jokes make me laugh. They cut through life's chaff. Something, something, something chorus. Or Doris, apparently. Hmm. I'm so tempted to like something something Chuck Norris. um. Oh, Horace. Is it? Hang on. Language is doing one of those things where I don't know if I'm losing my mind or not. Okay, I've spelled it right. I don't... 404 error. Aw, it make our hearts swell like a chorus. That's so much better than what I wrote. I wrote, happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I'm delighted to learn you're a Taurus. Your jokes make me laugh. They cut through life's chaff. Now let me serenade you till I'm Horace. Bard, yours is so much better than mine. Cheers. That was so much fun. Our friend Flanny is just super good at making everybody laugh, so I feel like that fits really well. And Bard did a nice, sweet one, so I guess mine can be the funny one. Okay. I would like to, because just for fun, and because we haven't tried this yet, I'd like to do a couple of haikus as well. I don't think I'm going to get to the sonnets today. I think I'll wait until we can do a whole stream for sonnets. But just for, fun and, did I do my steps? Didn't bug me, so I must have. Just talking to my Fitbit. So I'd like to do just a couple of these, a little bit different. These did not come up on the wheel. Yeah, I'm glad you're hanging out with us too, Bard. I know you were there for Joe trying to write the limerick as well, so, you can see how we have different approaches. So haikus don't typically tend to rhyme. I'm doing this stream mostly because I made Joe write poetry, so I felt like I should also have to write poetry. These didn't come up on the wheel, but they were there. A haiku is a Japanese poetic form that consists of 3 lines with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. So they don't necessarily have to rhyme. And I believe that a haiku is usually, from my understanding, it's very conceptual. So it sort of focuses on like a feeling or a concept more so than like they're quite the opposite of limericks. Joe's Poetry Corner was a bit of a mess. It was everything I hoped for, but also I kind of felt like I had hurt a friend. So haiku is a type of short form poetry originally from Japan. Traditionally consists of phrases composed of 17 phonetic units in a 5-7-5 pattern that include Cutting word, interesting, or a seasonal reference. Similar poems that do not adhere to these rules are generally classified as senryu. Interesting. Haiku originated as an opening part of a larger Japanese poem called renga. These haiku, written as an opening stanza, were known as hoku, and over time they began to be written as standalone poems. Haiku was given its current name. Interesting. Have different styles and traditions while still incorporating aspects of traditional haiku form. Interesting. Well, let's see what it said. What are the 3 rules of a haiku? No more than 17 syllables, only 3 lines. Typically, every first line of a haiku has 5 syllables. Okay, so those we know. Let's get some examples. 40 haiku poem examples. I was so genuinely blown away that he seemed to struggle with it. Me too. Like, I told him I don't know if he's still hanging out in the chat, but I told him earlier that I thought he would have, like, more grounding in it when I suggested them. Like, if I had realized that, like, he was so, like, not quite as comfortable as I assumed with the concept of some of those poems, I wouldn't have necessarily suggested them. I also assumed that since he was an English major and a writer, it would have been easier. We did a lot of that kind of stuff in high school. Like, we did sonnets and iambic pentameter and even haikus and stuff. Not so much limericks, but interesting. So this one is called The Light of a Candle. The light of a candle is transferred to another candle, spring twilight. That's what I would expect from a haiku. A piece of green pepper fell off the wooden salad bowl, so what? Interesting. This world of dew is a world of dew, and yet. Haikus are a different form of poetry. I write, erase, rewrite, erase again, and then a poppy blooms. Interesting. I really like that one. Interesting. Although that's not... Is that 7? I feel like that's 6. Interesting. In pale moonlight, the mysterious scent comes from far away. The earth shakes just enough to remind us. Some of these are not using the 575. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough. Interesting. Love between us is speech and breath. Loving you is a long river running. Interesting. Interesting. I'm counting out the syllables. When I'm staring into space, moving my fingers, I'm counting the syllables. Interesting. What should we write a haiku about? I feel like I wrote a limerick about for Joe, and I wrote one for Bootleg Pikachu and one for Flanny. Maybe I should write a haiku for Ghost Pepper for my hubsaband. Haikus I find so much harder. Joe is a very good sport. We put him through a lot of mayhem, I think. The amount of times he had to say "nya" after everything because it came up on the wheel. And then and the next day when he was playing it again, we were trying to get him to say Nya again without the wheel. Joe's a really good sport. He puts up with a lot from us, I think. I'm trying to come up with... Counting syllables. A spicy berry. That's 5. 5 syllables. Neo, how are you? Whew, so many things just try to come out of my mouth at the same time. How are you and how are you doing? Fat drops paint the ground. The sky's crude pointillism. Nature's love letter. Bard? That's freaking amazing! What the hell? I came up with a spicy berry in the time you spent writing that. A spicy berry. Ooh. I did it, you guys. A spicy berry, stalks growing in my garden, the one I love the most. I'm proud of that. I'm stupidly proud of that. Yeah, we're writing some poetry today. I tried to get Joe to write poetry, so I felt like I should also try to write some poetry. I know, right? It just popped into my head. I feel like haikus are sometimes subversive in that they set up this image and they expect you expect something from the first couple lines and then they end like differently. Like the image at the end is different than it started. And so it popped into my head to describe a ghost pepper, but then also my husband. And it just so happened that like as I was counting out the syllables, I was like, oh, it works so perfectly. A spicy berry, stalks growing in my garden, the one I love the most. Oh, you're right. The one I love most. Listen, math is not my strong suit. I put the in there because I thought I was one syllable short. There we go. Thank you, Bard. Thank you for catching up for me. I was worried that I didn't actually have 7. But I do. Stalks growing in my garden. Sometimes syllables are hard. We have this game called Poetry for Neanderthals, which is amazing, by the way. If you see this game like on Amazon or in your local game store or whatever, grab it. Is there a specific rule? For this type of poem that we are writing, haikus do have rules. So there are 3 lines, 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, 5 syllables in the last line. When we were writing the Limericks, we were writing, there are 5 lines with an AABBA rhyming pattern, and the BB lines tend to be shorter. I know, I have to count so many times with haikus too. I'm really glad you caught that because I was somehow counting it wrong. Flutter, thank you so much for the lurk. What was I saying? I did that thing where I interrupted what I was saying and I meant to go back and I didn't. And I forgot what I was saying. You are not dumb, Neo, but it is a little bit complicated. Especially haikus can be complicated. Spicy berry is what I'm going to call Ghost from now on. Perfect. Job done. I'm doing pretty good, Neo. I'm recovering from my cold. I was quite sick at the beginning of the week. Even on Wednesday, I was still quite a bit under the weather compared to now. So day by day, I'm getting better. We're just doing something fun. I feel like I stopped in the middle of saying something and I never finished it. Remind me what I was saying and I'll finish what I was saying. Man, I haven't done haikus. Oh, Poetry for Neanderthals. We have this game called Poetry for Neanderthals. And it's really fun, but it's kind of like, it's like one of those things where you have a word on a card that you need to get your team to say, but you can only use one syllable words. If you say a word with more than one syllable, you're like disqualified. And suddenly when you're playing that game, you suddenly question which words have one syllable. What can I say that isn't too complicated for this game? And so you do a lot of like panic counting syllables in your head. That's what the haiku reminded me of. I'm gonna try to do, I want to do at least 3 because we did 3 limericks. So there we go. A spicy berry. What else? I should do a haiku about Damarin. Can I encompass him in so few words? Oh, it gonna rain. It just got super, like there is a wall of white outside. I can barely see the mountains. Although it might not rain. It looks like it's gonna rain, but it still might not actually rain. What are you up to today, Neo? Did I miss anything while I was spicy berrying? Feel good mentally, not physically? Are you resting enough, Neo? Are you eating? It's already raining here, which is fine. I love that haiku, Bard. Like that is top notch. I'm a particular fan of rain as well, so that spoke to me. To count a bunch of syllables on my fingers again. I'm contemplating. I'm counting syllables. We've already determined that I'm the Wish version of you. Listen, I still think I'm a bootleg Bard Owl. I was so tempted the other night to change my Discord name to bootleg Bard Owl. I think I'm the bootleg version of you. You like out there being awesome to the whole community, and I'm just sort of following along, you know. I'm just sort of loafing in your wake, trying to also be a little bit cool. Look, bootleg Bard Owl just also sounds like a really cool name. Listen, I wish I could be as amazing as you. So again, we're just on the same wavelength. I don't know. Also, I don't know if you saw my tweets, but if you pop over to my Twitter account, I tweeted at Joe the other day, and it's for the whole community. But I basically just tweeted a bunch of gushing love for all of you because when I was on Joe's stream the other night, talking about fear, and just all the conversation we were having, there were so many amazing messages in chat, and I didn't get to respond to all of them, but there were so many amazing messages in chat of people saying, you know, that they like hanging out with me, that they like my work, that they think I'm a rock star, and I have not been feeling well this week, obviously. I mean, if you guys were here on Wednesday, I was so sniffly. Probably shouldn't have streamed, but I wanted to. And I've just kind of been struggling to feel like a functional human being this week because, you know, sickness and all that. And to see so many people come out and send messages of support and say, like, I'm getting teary, you guys, just talking about it. To see so many people think that I'm cool, even though I always have a hard time believing that I'm cool. It really meant a lot, you guys. So love to you, love to everyone who's here now and to everyone who was here then. And I tweeted some sappy stuff about how amazing you guys are and how happy it made me to just have you guys all out there offering support. And yeah, if you guys ever wonder how I feel about you and about being here, you guys make me feel like I do something cool. So thank you. I've been purposely limiting my time on social media, which hasn't been super hard since I've mostly been working and sleeping, but I love you, and I will go look right now. I love you too, Bard, and seriously, like, I appreciate the hell out of you, and I just feel like you guys are all out there cheering for me, and I needed that this week. And apparently, my eyes are just gonna leak now. So yeah, this, we talk about this all the time, me and Ghost Pepper and a bunch of the people that we stream with and hang out with, but there is a part of this Twitch community which is amazing, and I feel like we lucked into it. I don't know how we found you guys or how you guys found us, but you're all amazing, you're all so loving and supportive, and we just feel very fortunate to be part of this community and to be able to hang out with you guys and spend time with you guys and interact with you guys. And I definitely feel like that has gotten me through a significant portion of this week. So if you're listening to this now live on stream or later in VOD form, thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks for being awesome. You guys are all amazing. And I don't know what I'd do without you. And of course, we're rooting for your amazing listen. I love you too, Bard. So much. Can't even say how much. And I'm rooting for you too. I hope you guys know that, like, all the love that you throw at me and all of the support, I'm throwing it right back at you guys every day. I believe in each and every one of you. You're amazing. And you can do it. You can do the thing. Whatever thing you think you can't do, I know that you can. And that's why I'm here. Anyway, tangent. I know. I half wrote a haiku. I need a last line, though. I need a really, like... I need a punchy last line. I also need to blow my nose again because my eyes leaked. Apologize. I'm trying to write a haiku about the main character in my Aravalia Chronicles series. Ooh. Maybe. I think I came up with one I like. Is this a haiku? Snowy mountain, a black. So you have one extra syllable. So snowy mountain, black would work. Mary spider snaps because you would need, if you break it up because, you would need 2 more syllables. You're very close, Neo, so... Doing it in English is hard. Hey, you're doing great for doing it in a different language. You could do... That would be 575, I believe. Snowy mountain black 5. Mary spider snaps because 7 of a passing fly. You did it. I mean, you could obviously change it. I threw a little bit. I just threw a couple extra syllables in there. You were pretty close, Neo. And honestly, if you translated that from French, if it's a different number of syllables in French, it might have been correct in French. I just came up with one. Did I have too many, though? Okay, this one's for Domerin. Warrior of skill, protector of the realm, more than just your scars. Not quite as good as my spicy berry one, but I will take it. I like that. Man, haikus can be so much fun. I directly think it in English. I mean, you're doing great, Neo. Haikus are hard because of the syllable requirement. So if you're doing it in your second language, that's pretty epic, I feel. Especially if you've not done haikus before. They take some getting used to. I like that, though. I like it. Here we go. A spicy berry stalks growing in my garden, the one I love most. And warrior of skill, protector of the realm, more than just your scars. I'm happy with those. Might try to do one more, but I might take a quick break first to use the restroom. And then probably what I'm going to do is write one more haiku. I'm not sure about what. And then I'm going to fill in a little bit of extra text. I'm just going to give these some context so that they'll be able to go on my blog. So we've technically only written 124 words of poetry, but man, I feel good about them. So I'll just read everything that we've done so far. So our limericks are: I once knew a man with a glizzy stand who fed glizzies to all of the land. If you've wiener needs to fill, he'll fire up his grill, and what he puts between his buns is grand. And then we have, I met a most delightful bootleg gent with no legs but a rad Boston accent. He likes little pieces made by Reese's, and his stories have many middles but no end. There's a little bit of a fake rhyme in that one. And then we have, happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I'm delighted to learn you're a Taurus. Your jokes make me laugh. They cut through life's chaff. Now let me serenade you till I'm hoarse. And that's what we wrote this morning. So these are our limericks and our haikus. I'm going to do one more haiku and then just put a little bit of contextual information in the document for when this goes on the blog. And that's probably all we're going to do today, but this has been so much fun. I love haikus for the same reason I love things like furious fiction. I like the challenge of being creative within a set structure. Absolutely. It stretches the brain for sure. A day to appreciate our planet, blue and green soil, air, water. Nice. Neo. I'm so glad that everyone is enjoying this stream and just giving some new things a try. That's why I like doing stuff like this. I know this is a little bit different from the structure where we usually have. We haven't been doing sprints today or focus time. But for those who are lurking, I hope you're still enjoying the chill vibe. Normally I do 20-minute or 30-minute focus sprints while I'm doing more writing or editing. But today we're just kind of stretching the creative muscles. Neo, stop. You are not too dumb for anything, first of all. And second of all, you're doing great. For someone who's like not even heard of haikus before, you're doing great. I'm gonna take a quick pop AFK to get up, stretch, refresh my coffee, use the restroom. You please do that too if you need to. Don't forget to hydrate, to eat if you need to, and just generally take care of yourself. And I'll be back in a few moments. Tiger Writes, hello. Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry I was AFK. Let me get you a shout out. Oops. Almost spelled your name wrong. Please check out the Tiger Writes. Let me see. Thank you, Apple, for welcoming the raiders in. Stream went quite well. 2 chapters written today. That's amazing. We've been working on some poetry. I think people have already let you know. We've been doing limericks and haikus. Yes, you can all, if you would like to join me, please feel free. I can read through what we've already written so far. I'm kind of cooking up one more haiku in my brain here. And then I'm just going to put some contextual information into our document here. But this has been really fun. This isn't something I usually do. And I've just really been enjoying it. I challenged a friend of mine to do some poetry on his stream recently. And so I was like, hey, I should do the same thing. Roar, and roar some more. That's the extent of my ability when it comes to poetry. Hey, no worries and no pressure. I do not usually do this type of poetry either. I'm a big fan of free verse. We were talking about this earlier. And every now and then I write some song lyrics for my fantasy worlds. Like I was saying earlier, I had a funeral scene in one of the books that I was writing. And I wanted something similar to what we would think of as Amazing Grace for my fantasy world. And obviously, it's not an Earth world. It has no ties to Earth, so it wouldn't make sense for them to sing Amazing Grace. So I wanted to come up with something sort of in that style or that vein. A song that would be tied to their culture that they would sing at funerals. And so I did some song lyrics for that. Bard, no, I wish your work would leave you alone so you could do poetry. Thank you to Bard and Apple for welcoming the raiders in while I was AFK. I super appreciate that. I wish I had some ability to songwrite because I will need one for book 4 in the Dungeon Runner series. I don't know how good I am at it. Every now and then I sort of dig deep and I spend a lot of time chipping away at it. I'm mostly a novelist myself as well. I don't write a ton of poetry anymore. I definitely went through like a poetry phase when I was younger. And I tried to write it more often, but I don't know how much I've ever really taken to it. I feel like it's the kind of thing where you get better at it if you do it a lot. But it's fun to dip my toes in every now and then. And so, like I said, we did some limericks and we did some haikus. Exactly. I actually just prefer long form writing because I like to really dig in and get into details and stuff. But there's something to be said sometimes for just doing something quick and short for fun. I certainly didn't necessarily know what I was going to be coming up with when I sat down to write this morning, but I've been enjoying it. All the way to long form writing. Exactly. I love long series as well because I like that you can develop things over time and see how things change and really like because in one book you can't necessarily bring to life an entire world. You can really only focus on sort of one piece of it. And so I like getting to send my characters out into like ever bigger areas and explore histories and see how things change even generationally sometimes. There's so much that you can do with long form writing. Only if the author has a conclusion in mind. Yes. Eventually stories have to end, right? I've come across a few never-ending series and they get boring. Yeah, you can kind of tell when an author has run out of actual content and is just sort of filling. My Aravalia Chronicles series actually has 15 books, which is very long for me, and it's the longest series I have planned so far. But that's it. The book 15 is the ending. It's what I've been working towards the whole time. There is a like specific story arc for my main character. It's kind of in a very broad sense. I mean, there's in a more specific sense, there's a bunch of things, but in a broad sense, it's sort of his journey of self-actualization. And at the end of the 15th book, he's gone through all of the stages of transformation. He has found himself in his place. And it was planned that way from the start. I didn't know it was going to be 15 books to get him there when I started writing it. But I had I had an end destination in mind, and I knew kind of where I was taking everything. And it is a generational story, so it ultimately does make sense that there's so many books to get there. But I did have an end point in mind from the start. Tristan has 6 books. It will have 3 more when it ends. Nice. The next 3 books weren't planned, but there's a major threat that wasn't resolved at the end of book 6. That happens to me too. In my other series, The Celestial Serenade, which I'm publishing right now, which has 9 books, and I'm about to publish book 8. I'm working through book 8. The first 6 books are sort of the first story arc, and then I sort of maybe realized that I accidentally gave a character immortality. So I was like, I maybe should deal with what happens when a character accidentally becomes immortal. And so there were 3 more books. I didn't ask that an author know how many books the series will have, but they should know how it will end. Definitely. Dungeon Runner is planned for 10, 3 trilogy plus a conclusion. Nice. I also write in trilogies. I also write in trilogies. I feel you. Yeah, I definitely, when I sat down to start, in my head, when I sat down and started planning the Arvalia Chronicles, I thought it was going to be 3 books. I thought it was going to be a trilogy. And then I started sketching out how long it would take to get through the events and sort of give everybody enough time to get attached to the characters and the events and the world. And I was like, 3 books ain't gonna do it. And then I kind of realized in my head, okay, in my head, a book is a trilogy, so we're automatically at 9 books, but even that wasn't enough. I find it's a comfortable way to have a place where you can take a breather. Yeah, I like building in layered pieces, if that makes sense. So I like to have a story arc for each book, but also a story arc for each trilogy, because then it feels like you have your threads that are pulling through, but you have things that can conclude. You can make something feel satisfying, like within a book, and then you can make something feel satisfying within a trilogy, and then over time you can build to a satisfying conclusion in a series. And I find that as I write more series, that's just sort of how I naturally plot as well. And it just feels very natural. Anything that feels forced, I think, you should avoid. Each book has a conclusion to that specific problem, plus it advances the arc. Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly how I do it as well. So what we've been doing today, very, very different for me. I did start cooking another, because it's raining now. The rain has arrived that I said was heading here. So I did come up with another idea for a haiku while I was AFK. And haikus, I think, are very conceptual. So let's see. Let me count my syllables, make sure I have it right. I have most of what I want, so oops. So that's 5, 7. So now we need the last 5. Hope you have a good day. Need to run and hunt down dinner. No worries. Tiger writes, I know what it's like when you finish up a stream. You need to go get food. Please enjoy your dinner. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate the raid. Real Salties, hello. How's it going? Let me just... I'm a little bit sniffly here, so let me just cover the camera one more time. Forgot your Kindle. Like, did you leave it somewhere? Or just forgot to bring it with you when you left, like, the house. At my other house? Oh no! If you have, like, a tablet or a phone, you can download the Kindle app, and you should be able to access all of your Kindle files on there. Rose Evenstar, hello. 1 second here. Let me uncover my camera. Hello! Thank you for the raid! Welcome, raiders. How's it going? How was your stream? We've been doing poetry today, something a little different that I don't usually do. You can kind of see on my screen, we have been doing limericks and haikus, and I'm just working out my last haiku. Creative Tater Tot, hello, how's it going? Devin Cutting, hello. What were you working on today, if you would like to share? Yeah, we've just been sort of off the cuff writing some poetry. I challenged a friend to do some poetry on stream, so I thought I should do the same, you know. Looking over some music for a choir concert I have in a few hours. That's awesome. Back to writing next week. Good luck with the concert. I hope everything goes well. It's been super fun. I don't usually write a lot of poetry. I don't, especially stuff that rhymes. So it's been nice to just do something sort of light, to not have like a ton of expectation and just sort of see what comes out. I'm really happy with, I wrote this haiku. My husband his Twitch name is Ghost Pepper. So I wrote this haiku, a spicy berry stalks growing in my garden, the one I love most. And I'm really like sillily pleased with it. Did some music and worked on getting my shit together. A creative tater tot. I hope it's going well. I definitely know the feeling of trying to get my shit together. This month, this whole April and the beginning of May have just been insanity in my house. Yeah, it just kind of, I was trying to think of how to describe like a ghost pepper, the vegetable. And then at the end, it just kind of came together with the syllables. It worked really well. Yeah, and then I wrote another haiku for Dahmer, the main character in my Aravalia Chronicles that we've just been talking about. Warrior of skill, protector of the realm, more than just your scars, which I'm happy with as well. And now I'm kind of working on a rain-centered one since it's storming. So I have Melancholy Night, Drumbeat of Drops on My Roof, and I'm trying to get like the thunder and lightning in there now. So I think it's gonna be Bright Light and then I have 2 syllables to do the thunder. Maybe I could do Bright Light and Sharp Crack. That works. So I only have, because with a haiku you have to do 5 syllables. Ooh, Bright Light and Boom Boom is good too. That would have worked. I mean, it's 5 syllables. I don't know if Rolling would have fit because of the syllable requirement. But I have Melancholy Night, Drumbeat of Drops on My Roof, Bright Light, and Sharp Crack. I think that works. I think that speaks to Thunderstorm. Haikus are fun because they can be so conceptual, and they don't have to be super. I mean, I think mine are a little more serious, but they can be super silly as well, right? Bright Light and Boom Boom would have worked perfectly as well. Nice. I'm gonna put some, because this is ultimately for my blog, so right now it's just a bunch of stuff written completely out of context. So I'm gonna put some contextual text in here explaining what I'm doing. I used to write a lot of them, but I haven't lately. Maybe I'll try to do some soon. I've definitely had fun with it. I think I have not written an actual haiku since, like, high school. So this was super fun, just to sort of shake the dust off, dig my fingers into something I haven't done. I want to do some sonnets. I don't think we have time today because I'm going to have to go throw dinner in the crock pot soon and get my own lunch and all that. So I probably only have about 30 or 40 more minutes left of stream. And I want to add some context to this document, so I think that's going to take up the rest of our time. But I think I'm going to do another one where we just focus on sonnets, because I have a couple of ideas for sonnets, and I'd like to do at least 2. And sonnets being 14 lines, they're quite a bit meatier than what we've been doing today. So I think we'll do a poetry part 2 and do some sonnets in a week or two. Back in 1962, pretty much. Oh my god, so we were having a very serious chat on Joe's stream the other night, and Peter asked me if I remembered 9/11, which I won't go into the whole in-depth conversation again, but I do. I very vividly remember exactly where I was when I found out what happened. I was a junior in high school. I was taking a geometry test. That's how I know exactly when and where I was. 11th grade geometry test, because that was the year I took geometry. And Joe said, I think I was in 4th grade, and I was like, no, I can't be that much older than you. Are you doing traditional haiku rule of having a turn and a mention of a season, or just the 575? Just the 575. I did not do the seasonal ones because I wanted to focus on people. Like, my first 2 were kind of focused on people instead of seasons. But I did look up some of the more detailed information about haikus at the beginning of stream, because I don't actually write them very often, so I don't know as much. Also, Cater Nader, hello, how's it going? Missed 9/11, was on a cross-country motorcycle trip and didn't find out until 2 a.m. Yeah, I can remember exactly where I was, but when my friend was like, I think I was in 4th grade, I was like, no, please, I'm not that much older than you. So I'm a dinosaur. I'm a dinosaur. And yeah. I actually graduated in 2003, for anyone who is like, she can't be that old. In June, Ghost Pepper and I will be celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. That's how old I am. Was here for a bit like 2 hours ago, but forgot to say hi. No worries, Cater Nader, as a chronic lurker myself. I appreciate the lurk, even if you didn't say hi. I appreciate you saying hi now. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I was 2 weeks graduated from high school when we were married. I was a baby, a mere fetus, getting married. Graduated in 2005. Nice. Yes. So you're from around the same time period as me, the Jurassic. No, I jest. Yeah, I was 2 weeks graduated high school when I got married to my lovely Ghost Pepper, and on June 21st, it will be our 20th wedding anniversary. We've not really announced it, but we have tentatively tossed around the idea of doing a stream where we play the Newlyweds game, except we're obviously not newlyweds. Thank you. I appreciate that, Creative Tater Tot. The Newlyweds game, the idea is that conquest. The idea behind the Newlyweds game is obviously that someone asks you a question and you each write down the answer, and it's to see how well you know each other, right? You have to separately write down the answers and then see if they match. So we haven't started organizing this yet because our lives have been so crazy, but we want to basically play the Newlyweds game and see how well we know each other and get the community to suggest questions to see if we know the answers. Guess my sanity break is officially over since the phone keeps ringing. No, Bored Owl, come back! But you were here to hear about the Newlyweds game, possibly. So yeah, we haven't had a chance to like properly organize that, but we're hoping to do something like that around-ish the time of our wedding anniversary, just to celebrate. 20 feels like a big one. I don't know. Everybody keeps asking me like what on the like paper or whatever for the first, what is 20 on the anniversary, 20-year anniversary gift? The traditional 20th anniversary gift is China. There we go. The modern take on the 20th anniversary gift is platinum. So there we go. We did just buy a bunch of China dishes, so we did it. Apparently, they are in order from first year. Paper, cotton, leather, linen, silk, or fruit flowers, depending if you're on the UK or the US. Wood, iron, wool or copper, bronze pottery, copper or willow, apparently. What willow? Is that like a tree? 10th year aluminum, 11th year steel, 12th year home decor, okay. 13th year lace, 14th year ivory, 15th year crystal, 16th year silverware, 17th year furniture, 18th year porcelain, 19th year bronze, and 20th year china. So there we go. The traditional ones make more sense to me than the modern ones. The modern one is first year clocks, question mark, second year china, third year crystal glass, fourth year appliances, fifth year silverware, sixth year wood. These seem out of order. Seventh year brass, 8th year linen lace, 9th year leather, 10th year diamond jewelry, damn, 11th year jewelry accessories, 12th year pearl, 13th year textiles or fur, 14th year gold jewelry. Gold comes after diamond? What? 15th year watches also comes after diamonds, apparently. 16th year silver, 17th year furniture also. They start to be the same then, I guess. 18th porcelain, 19th bronze, and then 20th platinum. So there we go. Those are the years of marriage that we've done. I need to get ready for my choir concert. Good luck, Rose Evanstar. Thanks again for the raid. I appreciate it so much. Good luck with the concert. I hope everything goes well. I'm going to start filling in some blanks here on this document so that this can go on my blog. I need to check how J Chili spells his Twitch name so that I do it properly. When I link it, it links to the right person. LLYY, that's correct. Thank you, Bard. Thank you. I'm always like, because I know there's a J Chili that we all accidentally raid from time to time. That's not the right one because it's spelled without the extra Y. I think we've all made that mistake at some point in time. Ghost Pepper texting me. He is going out of town next week, so I need to know if he's going to stop at the store again before he leaves, or if this is the time. Joe also sometimes jokes about having to rebrand as J Chili with 3 Ys if he ever gets canceled. Then what will we do? We'll never remember how to rate him. The sun is starting to come back out. Apparently, I've just forgotten how to spell. Side note, one of the funniest things about Joe's stream was when the love letter to Ghost Pepper came up and he accidentally wrote Dear Ghost Pepper, like G-O-S instead of G-H-O-S. And we were like, Joe, you're writing to bootleg Ghost Pepper, please fix. Hey, Dad, did you get a haircut? Yes, I cut one hair. Dad joke of the day. Thank you, Neo. My dad used to say, did you get a haircut? And if you responded with yes, he would ask which one. A true dad joke. Oh my god. We've been watching our way through the X-Files on Disney Plus. And there was a really terrible episode that did not age well because it was made in like 2000, and it was about like a virtual reality video game, and it was very clearly written by people who had no idea how computers worked. Like, the internet existed at this time. Someone could have Googled, like, how the internet works, but they didn't. They just used a bunch of buzzwords, and, like, literally there's a part in the show where Scully walks in and is like, this person is in the computer, we need to download her, and it just, in the context, it makes no sense. Like, it was written at a time when people who watched it were probably like, yeah, this makes sense. Hey, Tupper Hunter, how's it going? Hey, Laurel. Like, at the time that this first aired, probably people didn't know enough about computers for it to, like, be truly awful, but as, 20 years later, as we understand how the internet works, it's not aged well. And there's this part where this guy goes in, and he doesn't say anything at all in the show because it costs more if you have to pay an actor to say lines. But they bring in this guy to basically, like, defeat this digital enemy. And he's just standing there, like, at the beginning of the game, not moving. And they're like, why is he just standing there? And one of the characters goes, because he knows no fear. And Ghost Pepper felt this was so hilarious. Like, this was so hilarious to him that for, like, a week afterwards, he would bring up he'd be like, do you know why such and such is doing this? And I'd say something, and he'd be like, no, it's because he knows no fear. And it was both hilarious and just so, like, groan-inducing. But he thought that was the funniest thing ever. Stressful, I'm having to write my piece for TWN for open mic night tomorrow. Tupper Hunter, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. What is it? Is it, like, for comedy? Is it, like, poetry? I love that for you both. Can't wait to get downloaded from the interwebs. It was such a truly terrible episode. Like, it was one of you just know sometimes when you're watching a show from the late 90s that some of it's not going to age well, and that episode just did not age well at all. And I, as someone who worked in IT, was just dying inside because I was like, that's not how anything works. We read stories on open mic night. Tupper Hunter, that's awesome. Is it like a short story? Is it a little bit of a novel that you're working on? Is it a specific theme? I have questions. I'm going to message him and be like, do you know why I love you calling you Nate Dogg? Because I know no fear. Please, Bard, please do this. I need to know what his reaction is. I need to know. Oh my goodness. Also, I can see how reading your story on an open mic night on stream would be, or even on Discord, would be stressful. I write stuff on stream, but I don't often read what I've written on stream. But Tupper Hunter, I'm sure it's going to be great. Daz, hello. Thank you for the raid. So many people dropping in to say hey today. Welcome in. How's it going? What were you up to today? We've been writing poetry. I'm adding some context to our document now, but we wrote limericks and haikus today. I feel like I have to keep calling him J Chili on my blog because no one's gonna know that his name is Joe, but maybe that's silly. E. Armstrong, hello. How's it going? I finished the first chapter of my second project this morning, feeling good about it. Nice, Laurel, I'm so glad to hear that. Daz, how did it go? What were you up to on stream today? Oh, did I remember to get my steps in during the 12 o'clock? I have to do my 1 o'clock steps before I'll know. It was great. Glad to hear it. Daz was lovely and gave me awesome feedback on my TTRPG playtest rules. That's awesome! I'm so glad to hear that. I have never tried to do like my own system. I always just kind of modify another system. I'm doing a slightly modified version of D&D 5th edition for my current game that I'm doing off stream. But that's super cool. Feedback for that kind of stuff is so important. Also outlining my rewrite of my book. Nice! I hope it's going smoothly. I hope it doesn't need too much tearing apart and putting back together. You could intro him as my good friend Joe, who goes by JChili on Twitch. See, Bard, this is why you're so much cooler than me. I feel like that works so much better. Doing a hack of the Knave rules. It's fun, but a pain. I mean, it sounds cool. I don't know about the Knave rules. Using the 6-question method to outline each scene, because I have complicated plots going on and need to take care of what's getting breadcrumbed. I don't use the 6-question method, but I do that during my edits. I am very careful of, like, I write down the characters' motivations in each scene, and I try to keep track of, like, making sure everyone's getting progress in their character arc. It can be, when you have a lot going on, when you have a lot of threads to pull together, it can be really hard. Just pull this up so I can put in some information about Limericks. Any tips on creating game rules? My second project involves a trading card game. I do not know much about trading card games, so I would be the wrong person to ask. I would say just think of your favorite games, the elements of your favorite games that you enjoy, and see how you can kind of modify them to work in your world. I definitely messaged Ghost and will let you know how it goes. I eagerly await his return from work today. Eagerly. I don't know if he'll read Discord while he's at work, but I can't wait. This is, once again, the wrong Wikipedia article. It's gonna be so awkward if he doesn't get it. Oh, he'll get it. He'll understand, believe me. TTRPG design is a lot of fun. It is. It can take a lot of balancing, though, and a lot of testing to make sure that you've gotten things balanced. Hate to pop in and run, but I gotta hop off to some errands. Hope you have a wonderful stream. No worries. I get it. I totally understand. Thank you so much for saying hey. Good luck with those errands. It's also a lot of crunch for balance. Exactly. My second project is inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm sort of trying to go off that, but seeing as I really only know the anime, I'm struggling. I've never really played a trading card game with any consistency. I know a little bit about how Magic works, but I never really played that either. Our MMO will be the toughest, just a lot of work. Indeed. But it can be so rewarding when you get a system balanced, right? How can I find out what song is playing? What I hear between clicky clacks is giving me Stranger Things vibes. It does pop up when the song changes. This one is called Summonosphere. This is Joe's streaming list as well. Hang on. If I back up and go forward again. Go forward again. Okay, this is the song that was playing when I saw your comment. Summonosphere, Caspero. I unfortunately don't have any kind of chat command that tells you, but it does pop up on the screen when it first starts playing. Conquest, thank you for being willing to help someone out with creating a system. I wouldn't even know where to start with that if I'm honest, so I cannot give good advice. Hang on, I'll type it. It does have Stranger Things vibes, really. Hopefully you guys don't mind listening to the song again. I need to create a command that will pull it up, but I just don't know how to do that kind of stuff. It took me forever to get it to pop up when the song changes, so... I want to put that in parentheses. Collected trading cards on and off for a while, but never really played. Just thought it would be fun to try and do a book involving trading card game. Absolutely! Absolutely. I don't want to start giving advice if I know that it won't necessarily be helpful. Sometimes part of helping your friends with their writing projects is knowing when you can't really help them, unfortunately. If you were talking about like Dungeons and Dragons, I could give you some advice for that, but a trading card game, I don't even know. I only have the like very vaguest idea of how they work. So I wouldn't even really know where to tell you to start. Really, I would say, because I know you can buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards, and there is a game. I would say just Google the rules of the game and look at how they have it structured. And you could also look up, like, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, stuff that I know are trading card games, and see what they have in common, and start from there. But aside from that, I wouldn't even really know. I wouldn't even really know, because I know so little about it. Okay, because I know we have some people who weren't here at the beginning of stream. I'm going to read my limericks that we wrote today one more time. Owning game stores, I'm exposed to them a lot. That's true. Like, you'd be a great person to help out with something like that. And I really appreciate you being willing to offer some advice. Because I don't know shit about that kind of stuff. But if you own a game store, I imagine you have played tons of those kinds of things and know a ton about them and answered tons of questions about them. So these were the limericks that we wrote today. I've just been filling in a little bit of details about limericks and giving context to the limericks that I wrote. So the first limerick we wrote was dedicated to our friend Joe, J. Chili. I once knew a man with a glizzy stand who fed glizzies to all of the land. If you've wiener needs to fill, he'll fire up his grill, and what he puts between his buns is grand. So that was for Joe. And then Joe has a little hat that he wears that is Bootleg Pikachu, who has an accent and story, like a whole life story, apparently. So we wrote a limerick dedicated to Bootleg Pikachu. I met a most delightful bootleg gent with no legs but a rad Boston accent. He likes little pieces made by Reese's, and his stories have many middles but no end. So we did that. Magic in 2 hours. Nice. I do know a little bit about Magic the Gathering because Ghost Pepper played it when he was younger, and I've seen it played, but I wouldn't know how to play it myself. Like, I wouldn't know how to build a deck. If somebody handed me a deck, I might be able to struggle bust my way through a game, but I know very little about it. Gonna get my dog out for her afternoon walk. If you're still here when I come back, then I will see you in a bit. If not, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you, Creative Tater Tot. We're probably gonna wrap up pretty soon because I gotta go throw dinner in the crock pot. But I appreciate you hanging out, and have a good walk with your dog. And then the last limerick that we wrote today was dedicated to our friend Flannelsaurus, whose birthday it is today. So we wrote him a little birthday limerick. Happy birthday to my friend Flannelsaurus. I'm delighted to learn you're a Taurus. Your jokes make me laugh. They cut through life's chaff. Now let me serenade you till I'm hoarse. Ronnie plays and I can technically play, but I'm not very good. Yeah, like, if I watch people play Magic, I can follow, like, what they're talking about and how the game works, because I've seen it enough to kind of osmose an understanding of the game. But if somebody put Magic cards into my hand and asked me about them, I would be like, I don't know, this one's a monster and this one's a land, and that's, like, about the extent of what I would be able to do. Alright, so now we're just going to put in some context for the haikus, and then we'll be done. He'll ask me why I never want to play with him, and I'm like, because I don't have fun just losing consistently. And he'll build these very technical decks that are designed to basically mop the floor with your opponent, and I'm like, oh, this one's pretty. I'm essentially bringing a potato to a gunfight. Listen, I get it, because I'm the same. Like, even when I play, like, MMOs, or, like, I don't play many MMOs anymore, but, like, when I'm playing a game with stats, I want the stuff that looks cool, and it's never the stuff with the best stats. So I'm basically like, I want to play with this, even though it does, like, no damage. It just looks pretty. This is why I appreciate games that let you choose something based on the stats and something based on the appearance and amalgamate them so that you have something that looks cool but also does damage at later levels, because otherwise I'm just screwed. I basically just want to play dress up or have a card deck of the coolest looking monsters. I don't want to kill the monsters. I don't want them to die. This is why I love the layered armor in Monster Hunter. Exactly. Gotta have a fashion aesthetic. They appreciate that people want to be well-equipped but also still hot. Exactly. That's the kind of game I need in my life. Because I'm gonna spend 3 hours on the character creation screen, and I need an outfit that lives up to those 3 hours. I need to look good while I'm destroying things. It's funny, too, because the character of Damarin that lives in my head is like, it doesn't matter what you fucking look like, you have to be protected. And I'm like, no, shh. You also need to be beautiful. And he's like, I see so many pictures on Pinterest where I'm like, I imagine Damarin in that. And he's in my head like, I would never wear that. And I'm like, you're gonna, though. Yes, Conquest, if you are making it so that I can look beautiful and kick ass, that is exactly what I want in my life. Me and Bard, we're there. Too bad I make the rules. I try to listen when he tells me I really wouldn't wear that, but sometimes it's just like, would you please wear this just for 5 minutes? Please? Damarin is a very practical person. If it's not practical, he's just like, why does somebody need that many belts? And I'm like, because they look fucking cool. And he's like, I really only need the one. We have, yes, if you guys are wondering, do I really have those kinds of conversations with my characters in my head? Yes, some of them do talk to me that way. It's Ronnie in real life, though. Come on, sometimes extra belts are cool. This is going to be a blog. If you guys are wondering like why I'm filling in a bunch of details in the middle, this is for a blog post. I essentially use these streams to compose my blog posts. So I am just filling out the final details. We're not going to get to sonnets today, obviously, because it's 1:30 and I need to go put dinner in the crock pot and eat lunch. So we're going to do another poetry stream devoted to sonnets. And because I told our friend Joe to write a sonnet dedicated to Barred Owl, I'm going to write a sonnet dedicated to Barred Owl. I already have an idea for how I want it to be. It's apparently, since the two of us are the same person, I'm kind of planning a call and response. Yeah, it's going to be dedicated to you. It's going to be a call and response between the two of us, since apparently we're the same person. I'm looking forward to that, but I did not have the time or brain power to dedicate to it today. I kind of realized midway through stream that sonnets are going to need their whole stream dedicated to them, because they're 14 lines each. So we're going to try to do 2 sonnets on a later stream. Probably not next week, but maybe the week after. I've definitely slacked off way more than I should, so now I have to go finish all the things so I can do Furious Fiction. I hope you get time to do Furious Fiction, Bard. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was lovely to have you. I really appreciated all of the poetry you wrote with us today. Good luck on Furious Fiction. It seems like they said on the website that it's monthly. So I've not tried it before, but it looks really interesting. I liked the prompt for this month. Bard shared it with us earlier. All right, there we go. That is going to be a blog post, short and sweet. I will read the haikus because I haven't read them. We read the limericks, so we'll read the haikus and then we're going to wrap up. We're going to go raid somebody so I can get some food. So my first haiku was dedicated to my husband, Ghost Pepper. This is what I wrote. I'm really, really pleased with this one. A spicy berry, stalks growing in my garden, the one I love most. A haiku about my husband. The second one that I wrote is dedicated to Damarin, the main character in my Aravalia Chronicles, the cute, grumpy little elf man that is in my emotes. For him, I wrote, warrior of skill, protector of the realm, more than just your scars. And the final one is dedicated to thunderstorms, one of my favorite forms of weather that we don't get here very often, and inspired by the fact that it rained today. Melancholy night, drumbeat of drops on my roof, bright light and sharp crack. That's it! That's my poetry for the day. It seems like just a little, but it was tons of fun, and I got to hang out with all of you guys, which makes me super happy, especially given the type of week that I've had. So yeah, that was fun. That was super fun. And I had so much fun that we're going to do another one of these, like I said, to do sonnets, because I feel like they need some more dedicated time. So we'll schedule that in the future. Right now, though, let's see who is online. I did say that if Flanny was still streaming, we would drop in on Flanny. It is his birthday today. He is still going. He is not writing on stream, so this will be a little bit of a different raid than usual. But every now and then, I like to drop in on friends who have supported me and who have supported the community. Flanny is a very good friend. He has been going through some rough times lately. I obviously won't go, it's not my place to go too deeply into that on my stream, but he's been having a rough time. And I just want to drop in and give him some love and support and wish him a happy birthday. If you are looking for another writing stream, another productivity stream, there are lots of options. I'm going to give some quick shout outs for people that you can definitely go hang out with. But please come with us in the raid long enough to say hey to Flanny. Comf is currently doing co-working, not specifically writing, but co-working. She's very comfortable, very nice to hang out with. There's also Desiree Mortiga is also a writer. Check her out. Let's see who else is on. I just want to give some shout outs to people who are doing that kind of stuff. Tempest Quake is also a writer, also doing sprints. And Anne, my good friend Anne, who we rated the other day, is also doing sprints. So if you are looking for another productivity stream, please check out one of these lovely, fabulous people. Well worth hanging out with. Normally we would raid one of them, but today we're going to do the extra special birthday raid and tell Flanny the limerick that we wrote for him for his birthday. I do not know when I will be back next. I'm still fighting off a bit of health stuff, as you guys can tell. So I'm going to take the weekend to rest and recover, and see. Hopefully I will be streaming next week. It'll probably be later in the week, probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday-ish. So keep an eye on the Discord and my Twitter, and also just the schedule area of Twitch, which is where I usually update my my schedule. And for now, let's go say hey and happy birthday to Flanny. Oops. I've lost my ability to type. If you have my emotes, feel free to use them. They don't work for Stream Elements, but they will work for you. And if not, you can... Oh, Bard! Thank you so much for 9 months! We have to decide what to name our stream, baby. Thank you so much, Bard. I really appreciate that. Joe, did you see the poems? I will message you. I'll message you in Discord if there were any you didn't get to see. Please feel free to use any emotes for the raid if you don't have mine. It's all about spreading the love. We're going to spread some love to Flanny for his birthday. Give him a birthday limerick. And I hope you enjoyed the poetry, Joe. I had so much fun doing this. And it was all because of your mayhem. So thank you for that. Until I see you guys again, please take care. I love you. You're amazing. Thank you so much for today and every day that you hang out with me. It means the world to me. I hope the best for you. I hope the words flow, whatever you're working on. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Take care of yourselves.